Today's houseplant myth is all about watering, and out of all of the different parts of growing houseplants, watering has to be the one with the most myths in it. And these myths can also result in you thinking that you can't grow houseplants. For example, this Dracaena. You might know this as Sansevieria or the snake plant. It stems from Africa in hot, dry climates, but it's often sold as a low light plant. So because you're moving it to the low light and it's not going to be photosynthesizing as much, you need to cut down on your watering. And if it's not drying out within 2 weeks, you need to move that plant to a brighter spot to allow it to use that water up and prevent rot. If you're not sure when to water your plants, I recommend learning what your plant feels like when it's wet. It's going to feel much heavier, and when it's dry, it's going to feel really, really light. And even the sound of the pot will change. When it's wet, it feels very dull, and when it's ready to be watered, it'll almost sound hollow. Some houseplants, like this Calathea, will even show you when they need to be watered. You can see its leaves are usually flat, but when it needs watering, they'll start to curl over. Lift it up, and the pot feels very light. It sounds hollow, and it's starting to come away at the edges. And these are all signs that it's ready to be watered. Now you've identified that your plant needs watering, it's really easy to do it right. Take your water and just spread it all across the surface. Make sure you're saturating every part of the plant, all around the outside to rehydrate the substrate, and let it run out of the bottom. Gravity is going to help pull out any excess nutrients, any buildup of minerals in there. Some people recommend bottom watering, and you may hear that that's to allow the plant to take up the amount of water it needs, but that's not what's happening. The substrate is absorbing the water. That substrate can then become oversaturated, and if you are likely to overwater your plant, try watering from the top instead. When you finish watering your plant, it's really important to let it drain off for at least an hour, to let all of that water drain through, and then when you put it back in its display pot, it's not going to collect in the bottom and cause overwatering. Now we finish watering, the question is when to water again. Now there is a myriad of information and even apps out there to tell you when to water your plants, but the truth is plants do not work on a schedule. So I find it best to have a schedule for me. I check my plants once a week, but it's important to check whether they need watering before doing it. So lift them up, as we've spoken about. If they're dry, then water them. If they're damp, leave them a bit longer. The last watering myth is about tap water. People recommend leaving the water out overnight, filtering the water, even using reverse osmosis water, but you really don't need to. I live in a really hard water area, but I still use tap water or rainwater on my entire collection. The one exception to that are carnivorous plants, and I'd really recommend using either rain or distilled water because they're a little bit more fussy.